EA Sports College Football 25 is going to be here before we know it. Expected release date coming in July. Kirk Herbstreit, I think, said something about it on the Pat McAfee show, as well as there is also other reports exactly July 19th as that exact release date. Now, as we dive into this video, guys, we're going to be going over everything that we do know so far in NCAA football that is to be coming, such as the transfer portal, such as what modes are going to be in the game, such as what about NIL? How does that affect EA Sports College Football? What about coaches? What about players that opt out? All of those things we're going to be trying to cover in this video. Now, this article was very good. Shout out to Brandon Marcello. We're going to be looking at a lot of this stuff discussed here, as well as some additional information from some other sources. The first thing I want to note here, 85 players from each team can opt into the game, and each player who does opt in gets $600. Now, I do know Arch Manning, and I don't know if it's talked about in this article or not, has opted out. Arch Manning said due to his focus on football. I don't know how that necessarily affects Arch Manning, but hey, do what you got to do. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just kind of curious on the reasoning there. Also says they will be given a copy of the game valued at $70. Now, it'll be interesting to see. Is there going to be different versions of the game? It has been released that the cover athletes will be current NCAA football players, but it'll be interesting if there's like a Heisman edition with Reggie Bush on the cover or something like that. Here we talk about familiar modes faces will return. Says fans can expect the return of Dynasty, Road to Glory, and Ultimate Team modes. Now, I don't know about you guys specifically, but when I think of NCAA football was my favorite game at that specific time. It was. I played Road to Glory. I played Dynasty probably the most, but I had an Ultimate Team as well. I had all three of those things, played all of those three things, and the fact that all three of those things are returning, I honestly expected it. But that is super exciting. It also says developers have implemented NIL and the transfer portal in the game. Now, I don't know. I feel like this could be an absolute disaster, absolute mess. But it will be interesting to see how NIL in College Football 25 is going to make an impact on how different the game feels. Here's a big note. Microtransactions for the game are expected to be kept at a minimum as EA Sports attempts to make the long-awaited return of the game as welcoming as possible for casual gamers in its first year. Now, obviously, that's mostly about Ultimate Team when you're talking about, the microtransactions, the new cards that they were put in the game, stuff like that. It says microtransactions will be included in Ultimate Team, a mode that will include legendary players from the past, the sources said. Now, that's what Ultimate Mode basically is. But again, if you grind Ultimate Mode, you should be able to keep up a good team if microtransactions are expected to be kept at a minimum. Now, how valid is this? I don't know. We'll have to see. I feel like, when it comes to Ultimate Team, modes like that, microtransactions are the name of the game for these companies, but we'll see if that is true. Now, I want to make a quick note here. ESPN's Saturday night broadcast crew of Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit will provide their voices for the game. And supposedly, I've watched Chris Fowler give out some details. They've covered everything. You want to punt on first in 19? They've covered that. You want to go for it on fourth and 74? They've covered that, man. You want to take Troy to a championship? They've covered that. They've got it all covered. So, I've heard great things about how much effort they put into the game, and that is super, super exciting. EA College Football will be played on the Madden engine or built on the Madden engine. It says much like the previous iterations of the NCAA football franchise in the 2000s and 2010s. That does make a lot of sense. Also, the game design atmosphere and unique traditions for each school is primarily what EA Sports will lean into. And I think that's important. That's the big difference between Madden and NCAA football is the atmosphere, right? You want, let's say you're playing at Penn State. You want Penn State to chant, we are, those types of things, like the FSU chant. All of those things are what makes college football so special. So if they can, incorporate those into the game, that's going to be awesome. Another big thing to note, schools provided thousands of assets for game designers. This is important because if you think about your favorite school, your favorite college, they've got so many different, whether it's pregame things, whether it's, the music on third downs, whatever it is, those things need to be provided to EA EA requested schools to provide audio files along with the timing of songs and cheers during games. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, like it says, fight songs, school cheers, crowd noise, music, anything. I don't know how that's gonna work, but anything, again, to get that in-game feel is super important. Coaches will not be in the game. Real life coaches will not be included in the game. That means notable faces like Ryan Day, Kirby Smart, and TyDeBo will not patrol the sidelines. It's interesting why. I don't know the specifics on it, but it says they will. It's possible they will be included in future editions. I wonder in Ultimate Team how this works, because I know in other games, they have specific coaches that boost specific things or stuff like that. But maybe in Ultimate Team it'll just be you as the coach. I don't know. Now, in this tweet here, we can see Kleeman says Breaking College Football 25 is expected to come out on July 19th. We haven't seen it for 11 years, an 11-year break. And what was my favorite game to play as a kid. It's crazy. Last time I played this game, I was in middle school. Now I'm 24 years old. Is there going to be a different game, right? It says game valued at $70. But is there going to be different editions? We see it with every, I feel like, major sports game, whether it's MLB The Show, whether it's Madden, whatever the game is. We see it valued at different prices. So wouldn't surprise me if there's a $70 version and then a $100 version and then a $150 version. Like, I feel like games can get crazy in prices. So that is going to be super interesting. But with them saying that they're trying to keep microtransactions at a bare minimum, it would actually be a kind of nice surprise if they just released one game for $70. I don't know about you, but I kind of probably would like that. Herbstreit has confirmed that there's going to be other broadcasts as well. So not just Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. There's going to be other broadcast crews. Now, will it be just ESPN? Probably, which I don't know. I'm one. I would like, it to be just different all the way around. It's like an ESPN crew, maybe a CBS crew, maybe a Fox crew. I think that would be awesome, just to give the actual NCAA college football feel. But even with ESPN, there's gonna be multiple different announcers in the game. And with it being on ESPN, maybe there will be a college game day type of thing as well, pregame. Now, I don't know for sure on that because, again, when Pat McAfee was on his show, he's a big part of college game day now. He made it sound like he didn't even know what was going on. First, he said 2K and all this stuff. Like, maybe he's trying to, play low-key and actually does know what's going on. But that would be so cool if we had different broadcasts, different, CBS, Fox, ESPN, all these things. One last thing I do want to hit on is I don't think there's going to be any old gen support either. So if you're still on Xbox One, PS4, this is just me and what I've researched is I don't think there's going to be any old gen support. So does look like a new gen game only, guys. That's going to be it for me and some of the details that I have seen and that makes me super excited about, just NCAA football coming back. It's been a 11-year break for my favorite sport, my favorite video game as a kid, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Now, for me, is content going to be coming on this channel for NCAA football? Yes, in a variety of ways, man. We're going to have so much content when the game does get released in July. So if you are excited about NCAA football, smash that subscribe button, guys. Drop a like on the video, man. As always, guys, love you guys and have a blessed day.